This may really turn out to be the investigation that many in Fort Worth figure has been too long in coming. A real exploration of all that shroud of mystery and allegation which have long hung over Doug Crouch in the Tarrant County District Attorney's office. Or this grand jury may just check a couple of cases, grab off a lot of headlines and television time, create a good deal of smoke, and do very little else.
This time last year was the first day you could walk into an open bar in Dallas, Fort Worth, or anywhere in Texas for that matter, and order a mixed drink. At that time, everybody was eager to predict what would happen. There were those who said mixed drink licensees would go broke. There were also those who said liquor by the drink would be an economic blessing to Dallas. They are the folks who now say the city would not have gotten the National Association of Home Builders conventions without the booze. One of the most optimistic people in Dallas a year ago was Al McKool, one of the owners of the It'll Do Club, which was the first club in Dallas to get a mixed drink license.
Everything went just like we thought it would, and we're happy that we got the drinks, and I think we can look forward for many more good years.
You were confident a year ago that the Liquor Control Board, at that time the Liquor Control Board, could enforce the new law. How do they look?
Well, they're doing a good job.
I believe if we had not had liquor by the drink during this past fiscal year, instead of having a 2% increase in the fatalities, we would have had a marked decrease in auto fatalities.
People's getting used to it now, and we're getting new faces, and the crowd's changing, and it's a better class of people, which we don't have no problems with, and it's just a nice bunch of people.
That sounds like that you could object to the people who said that crime would rise when liquor by the drink came in. Is that true?
Yes, sir. We don't. In fact, we have less trouble since the mixed drinks come in.
So liquor by the drink, even now, is still opposed by non-drinkers and other people, but it appears to be around to stay for a long time. The first year is over, and people are looking forward optimistically to the second year. This is Phil Reynolds, Channel 8 News on the Move.
I threw the ball the same as I have in the past, but we hadn't come up with any runs when I was on the mound, and that happens. It happens to all of us. I don't think all of our pitchers have been getting a severe amount of runs, so it's a relative thing. I think I threw the ball well as I have been throwing, and I have been throwing well. So I think that it was real pleasing to beat Oakland.
Has this affected your philosophy any, these when you were 0-3, not getting any runs, knowing that you had to have a win or two to stay up here on the roster instead of going back to Denver?
Well, I don't think the criteria is a win as much as I was throwing the ball good, and I was helping the club out of the bullpen, and I can pitch out of the bullpen. So I was more or less a victim of circumstances, and it's always good to have one. It solidifies your position a little bit, but I don't think that was the criteria, whether I was to be sent back or not.
Yes, I've eliminated the University of Texas because I didn't too much enjoy the visit. So I've kind of narrowed it down to the University of New Mexico and SMU.
Of course, the mention of SMU brings up the controversy that was sparked a couple of weeks ago. If you do go to SMU, as I understand it, you would be the first black golfer to be given a scholarship there. Have you, in fact, now been offered a scholarship by Coach Martindale?
Yes, I talked to Coach Martindale and Mr. Hayden Fry, and they assured me a 4-year full scholarship.
And the controversy surrounding Royal Oaks Country Club, I guess, has been dissipated. There's no problem there anymore.
There's no problem there anymore. We settled all that.
What will eventually be the determining factor in your mind? Do you have leanings towards staying at home?
Yes, I do.
How long do you think it'll be before a definite, ultimate decision is reached?
Well, I should be able to reach my final decision by at least the end of this month. You know, because I've got to visit Arizona State week after this, and then hopefully Florida State before the month is over with. So I'll know by the end of this month.
How many years have you shroud skied, Robert?
Oh, about 3.5 years.
Were you excellent at first? When did it fall into place?
No, I don't think anybody's excellent at first. It takes a lot of practice, but it's a lot of fun, really.
What are the toughest shots in a tournament to make?
Oh, I think near the end of the tournament, if you're in competition, if you're in the running for something big, if you're going to win, it's really, the pressure really gets on you.
Do you think you'll feel that pressure this year as defending world overall champion?
Well, I don't think so, because it's not too often when someone wins it 2 years in a row, so I'm not going to expect to win, but I'm going to try my best.
What was it like when you won it last year in San Antonio?
Exciting, to say the least. Everybody was excited because our whole squad seemed to win.
Was the fact that youth was in your squad, did that make you a little looser, say, than some of the other ladies who were competing for the championship?
I think so, because it, led for a lot more enthusiasm. Everybody got excited real easy, and we had a lot more fun. Everybody could, grin and kid with each other without, worrying about anything.
You broke 247 out of 250. Where did those 3 misses fall, Jackie?
I don't remember. I had 100 straight the first day, but there was one the second day, and the other 2 were the third day.
It's a great deal different tonight at the Pearl Mart than it was last night at Sissy Farenthal's rally. There are an estimated 2,200 people here to hear Dolph Briscoe talk to them. The crowd is younger than would have been expected and more affluent than would have been expected. As they filed in, a band played, and a lot of them knew one another. And when Mr. Briscoe got on the platform, he immediately hit his drug reform program, in which he proposes loosening somewhat the drug laws, and he hit busing as well.
The problem is that forced busing works a hardship on children and parents of all races. Busing does not promote greater educational opportunities for all children. It does not do anything to help further education in any permanent way. And certainly it is not considered to be an acceptable solution by a majority of the people of all races. So the I think the choice is clear. On the one hand, my opponent would use forced busing as a tool. My administration will work for solutions which will be designed to prevent forced busing. increasingly being used as a tool promoting racial violence in our public school system. But so with helicoptering children across school or run a campaign the same with one section as each section, the same with one group or with another group. Certainly.
Boys and girls, we've got 10 seconds until our summer vacation begins. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Briscoe is the last in the Press Club series of political hot seats. He still refuses to face his opponent in the Democratic runoff, Sissy Farenthold, but he did bring his wife to the platform with him. He talked about proposals to revise Texas drug laws, and he says he opposes no-fault auto insurance. Then, prodded by questions from newsmen, he explained his position that Texans should have no new taxes levied.
I think our goal has to be to live within the growth income of the taxes that we now have on the book, a growth income of some $375 million per biennium. This is how I think that this should be our goal. I think this has to be our goal.
Have you made any studies as to where you do the pairing?
I think that the savings that can be made through the proper handling of the money would be rather substantial. Now, no one can say exactly how much could be saved, but for example, a budget commission such as I propose in other states is credited with saving many millions of dollars. And I think that could be done here in Texas.
Dolph Briscoe says those savings would have to come across the board, but he exempts what he calls certain important fields, such as education. And he denies reports that 2 days before the runoff, Mrs. Farenthold might be catching up. Phil Reynolds, Channel 8 News on the Move at the Dallas Press Club.
I think whoever the Democrat nominee for president is, it's going to help the Republican Party in Texas, because it's becoming more and more apparent to the people of Texas that there are no Democrat candidates for president anymore that the majority of people of Texas support.
A creative play area apparently is the result when an affluent community like University Park decides to spend $15,000 for an addition to one of its public playgrounds. The kids don't know it, but all this is the outcome of a year's study based on behavioral science, theirs. The idea is to give them a chance to explore and to test their skills by using their imagination, and this called for a landscape architect to design a play environment for the children. Each element in the area relates to another as a means of leading the children through a series of challenges. In this way, developers say the children learn how to overcome obstacles, mounds of dirt, sawed-off telephone poles, concrete pipes. For as long as anyone can remember, children have played on these things, but now in University Park they receive some help. And because of that help, this playground has been designed for a change from a child's point of view, from the way children react to their surroundings. And at Caruth Park today, the children certainly were reacting. Jack Hill, Channel 8 News on the Move.
I was 0-3, Jerry. You know, if you can lose 3 in a row, you can win 3 in a row, you know, and I have the confidence, and I think that Mr. Williams does now too, and so I feel that, heck, any minute you can come up and win 3 or 4 in a row. So.
Do you have any idea when you'll get your next start, Rich?
I do not. I'm sure I'll get one sooner or later, but I'm sure it'll be 4 or 5 days from now.